Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher, Wyatt Turk, and special guest, Major Red Powell of the Warhammer 40K US Army Esports team. What's up, guys?
Yo, Doc, great to be here.
Hey, what's up?
Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
I had something witty to say, but then this is really good. You guys are going to love this one. I was temperature shamed by some of my staff recently for keeping my house at a cool 72 degrees. How do you feel about that?
Were they saying it was too hot or too cold?
Too hot.
Is it hot outside or is it cold outside right now?
I don't know. It's like...
Is it hotter than 72 degrees or colder than 72?
That seems excessive. Like 72 is like kind of right where it should be.
That's what I thought, right?
Yeah, like I don't keep my shit at 72.
Like,
that's a waste of energy.
They said it was too hot.
What?
I don't know.
I didn't expect it to go that direction because normally you do keep your house.
Are all of your employees like Antarctic emperor penguins?
I haven't looked at it like that. But they're like, it's too hot. You keep it too hot. You're like an old person. And I'm
72 is like, if we polled like 1 million people in the United States at like 72 degrees air conditioning, hot or cold, I'm pretty sure the medium would be, like the average would be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, like first world problems, I get irrationally upset if my apartment goes above 72, but like 72 is fine. Like anything less than that, and you're like, I got to put on a hoodie. Like, it's just too cold.
But if it feels like when you come in from outside, because it's like North Carolina, it's swampy. It's usually like 80 plus.
72 might as well be the refrigerator at that point.
That's kind of all right. I'm just making
also,
sure.
I mean, like, so there's also the thing too. It's like if you live in a hot environment like North Carolina, Texas, California, something like that, if you constantly run your AC at like 68, 69, there's a really good chance you will freeze. Like the machine will freeze up, and then you have to de-ice it. And then you're a huge dum-dum because you have to sit in a house that's like 88 waiting for that thing to thaw out for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Okay, I just want to make sure.
That's a good one. That was a fun anecdote from your life, and I do appreciate you sharing that with us.
I was like, the guys are gonna love this one.
Yeah, I was absolutely tickled by that story. Thank you. Let's get this party started. Let's accelerate the pace. We have a special guest tonight, as you guys have already been introduced to, Red from Army Esports team, and him and Wyatt are going to lead us in a nice conversation, meat potato segment of this. But Red's going to be here the whole time and weigh in his expertise and comment on things like tabletop marketplace and some list observations and such. So let's get our show started as we traditionally do by rolling out to Wyatt's Cave of Wonders. Touch nothing but the lamp.
Oh, yes. Would you rather have a tiger-sized house cat or a house cat-sized tiger?
That's a good one.
I have so many questions.
Yeah, go. Cat daddy, go.
So there's the house-sized tiger. Wait, say that again?
Would you rather have a
tiny tiger or large house cat?
Or a tiger-sized house cat?
Okay, so first of all, I know that at least if two of my cats were bigger than me,
they would kill you.
For sure eat me.
That's right. That's right.
There's only one answer here. Tiny tigers. That's it.
So the question I have is, do the tiny tigers exhibit the same properties that we've come to know that they have in the wild?
Yes.
Everything you know about the tigers comes from Tiger King. That's what I'm assuming. Like every house cat I've had, dude, my parents think the correct amount of house cats is 6. Here we are, 2021. Since the day I was born, it's been 6. They're like, oh, we're downsizing. I came to visit just to, last month. There's still 6. I was like, there was only 4 last time I was here. I have been around cats my whole fucking life. Every fucking house cat will kill you if it could. At some point in its life that you've interacted with it, there's a moment when it would have killed you if it was a tiger. You're
I know
100%
that,
going to die at some point because of this way too big house cat. You have to pick tiny tiger. Like it's right back to house cat size. Doesn't matter if it's a fucking tiger. It's tiny now. I can kick it if it wants to fucking try to go for the throat. That's what I do to house cats when they try to go for my throat. You know, tiny
but
tigers.
you gotta go to sleep at some point.
I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna make one of my cats a tiger size because he's a scaredy cat. He's like Cringer from B-Man, and so I think he'd be cool.
Are we the only 4 people like that the Jin has asked this? Would you rather to like? So am I going to be like?
Oh yeah. This is not like a reality changing event. It's like you have to have one of these. Like so, one of these will like be living with you from now on.
So I have one of the world's only tiny tigers.
Mm-hmm.
I can also. That's a secondary boon for me.
Yeah, you can maybe do a Twitch stream with it.
Yeah. I'm gonna get paid on that tiny tiger, dog.
You go Tiny Tiger King on it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go TikTok viral with that. Get him a little crown and shit.
You can do the thickest fur.
Oh yeah, and check it out. Tigers like water, so hot tub streaming on the table.
Hot tub streaming. My question is, do the cats that become tiger sized have to survive in the wild? Because I'm not sure.
No, there's only 4 people who are answering this question. So Wyatt has one of the world's only the only house cat that big on Earth. He can't just let it out like into the wild. He's going to be famous. Like he can't just abandon it.
Yeah, dude.
Like it's his cat elevated to Cringer size.
Around your house?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I have to get a sick ass new yard.
He likes sleeping on my bed with me. He's like my new pillow, dude. Like,
he will eat you.
Yeah.
He loves me.
Oh, because it's a Cringer.
Yeah.
I mean,
not Blackjack. No, Blackjack would murder me and everybody else in this house. But
yeah.
I'm talking about my orange cat, who's a little bitch. Like,
just remember, cats literally are some of the only animals that actually play with their food. They literally torture their food. It's like they're like one of the only animals on Earth that do it.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I'm gonna roll dice.
He says he's rolling dice.
I want a giant cat.
I'm gonna get a little teacup tiger. It's gonna sit on my desk right here.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
It's gonna be dope as shit.
I think the tiny tiger is the way to go. Sorry, Wyatt.
And it's adorable. We'll
miss you.
Tiny tiger. What about you, Red? What would you pick?
So I actually have. Do you know what a Maine Coon is?
That's already like the biggest house cat. Yeah,
it's already halfway there.
Yeah. So I've got 3 of them, and so we're talking like a 30-pound cat, right? And so I totally acknowledge the assessment that if a cat could kill something, it definitely would take the opportunity when provided. So I'm in the tiny tiger.
Yeah, Maine Coons, they're like wild ass cats too. Like
they can be. Ours are pretty good. We're pretty happy with them. I mean, it definitely lived up to the name and reputation. But I mean, it's funny because I got 4 kids too, right? And so like those kids got to learn real quick what they can and can't get away with these cats. One of them, I watched him. He hugged the cat one time, and the cat just like swallowed him up. He just gone. Kid was gone. I had to come unfold the cat to get the kid out. Like, kid never did that again. But that's why I would.
You can't let that Maine Coon be elevated to tiger size.
Yeah,
I was very specific with which cat I would.
That's right.
I would evolve. You know, he's like he becomes a Pokemon at that point. Like
that's right. Yeah, you got to be very careful with how you're doing that because
Meowsic Park, Apothis UK, solid comment right there. Meowsic Park.
Meowsic.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it is. Catzillas.
We were so caught up on what we could do, we never asked ourselves if we should.
Yeah, we should.
I'd like to point out to our listeners at home that Red is literally painting a 40K model right now.
Oh, is that what he's doing?
That's how hardcore he is. No, you can't. Like I'm just saying, like that's.
I mean, no one ever has. I mean, it's like you're treating it like it's a hobby hangout, but that's fine.
No,
that's how dedicated you are to the hobby.
Really shows off your hobby commitment.
Yeah. You only get so much time, man. You guys got me at a great time where I'm sitting down and able to actually do this. I'm not in transit or anything, so got to do what you got to do.
Oh, that's perfect. glad it lined up.
Thank you for the Would You Rather, Wyatt. Let's kick it on over to Rob for the Memorial News Desk.
Still here. I haven't left.
Well,
back this
hello,
week.
fellow humans.
Hello. Did you like my intro?
Yeah.
I just wanted to, make sure we all know we're all the same. We're all the same. So this week, new release wise, of course, the Black Templars box. There was some good news today to retailers. GW reached out and told everybody that basically whatever their pre-order numbers they put in, that's what they're going to get, which is really cool because they're also doing that thing where they're making it MTO. So if their initial run that they have on hand in all their warehouses across the world sells out.
I think we said they should have done with
like a
Indomitus.
Yeah. Well, they did eventually MTO it like a couple weeks later or something. I forget exactly.
They did. Yeah.
Yeah. But judging by the amount of Indomitus in the shipping box that are on eBay and that I have purchased locally from folks that never got around to it after they got it in December, it was kind of an impulse buy for a lot of people. I feel like, man, I ain't mad at it. So I did want to talk about the Templar, the way that these Army launch boxes are going, because if you haven't looked close at the value, they are basically a combat patrol box, which remember those sell for about $140 now, up from the 90-ish that the Start Collecting boxes used to be. Same value from the Start Collecting box to the combat patrols, same inherent value. It's just the combat patrol is, roughly $50 more, which GW likes. But when you escalate it up to the Army launch box, what seems to be happening is you're not getting as much value out of it because you're basically getting a combat patrol, which is some savings, but then you're getting the book and the cards. It's kind of like an early access sort of thing. So it's good because you get it early, but it's not the normal value that we've seen in bundles from them, over the past couple of years, of course. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's good to be a day one adopter, but I think, and we did an editorial on it too, that sometimes getting this stuff right at first may actually not be the right move financially, like hobby dollar wise, because if you wait, you're going to be able to pick up specifically what you might need for your army like a month later, right? You're going to know the kind of the meta that develops, and you're also going to know stuff's going to be like more available. Like you're going to know the dates for the rest of the releases and things, and you'll be able to kind of line it up a little bit better. There'll be an FAQ probably by then. So, you see these runs on products because there might be like a little bit of an exploit, and then they lock it down. And then you might have been like, oh man, I just bought 3 copies of this thing and that I can't really use. So sometimes it pays just to kind of wait to actually collect your whole army. I know it's hard to do, but in the long run, none of the stuff's getting any cheaper. And a lot of cases, it's not getting any easier to find. So you're going to have to pick it up on the secondary market regardless. So it's just some ideas, for how to source your stuff and kind of picking it up. I know a lot of people, that play competitively. If it's going to be the new hotness, they're going to want to get it. They're going to want to paint it up. They're going, it's going to be at the next big tournament. I definitely appreciate the hustle, but it's just something that I kind of think about as far as that goes. There's still lots of releases out there. So we still got some Sigmar stuff on the Stormcast side. The Dragons haven't come out yet. So there's still a lot more releases to come out in between the Templars launch and the Templars extra stuff around the holidays for sure. There was some rumors for new Joy Toy figures. And believe it or not, I actually was able to pick up the Joy Toy action figures. I got the set from Asia, Southeast Asia. Some of my military friends over there were able to get these for me and or get a box and ship it over. They're pretty cool. I really like these, and I hope they come out with more. I'm actually holding it in my hand right now. The people watching live can see it. So you'll be able to actually like put together the parts like the old GI Joes. Like you can take them apart and switch the heads and stuff. Like once they have more coming out, you can make all sorts of like configurations, whatever you want. And these actually paint up pretty good. I don't know if any of y'all follow Fohammer's site, but he painted one up already as a Blood Angel, and it looked dope. So you can repaint these just like McFarlane figures. And these are a lot easier to pull apart, Wyatt. I know you had a hard time with the McFarlane stuff.
Maybe you should send me one. Since you have 5.
No, there's set 4.
Well, you have 4. You should send me one.
I'll send you some pictures. You can pick one out. Maybe.
Why are you going to be so stingy with your little joy toys, dude? Spread the joy.
They're all basically the same. Maybe one will tickle your hobby pickle more than the other.
I literally don't care. Just send me one.
It's like, I just want it.
Yeah.
It's my precious. So yeah, those are pretty cool. And we'll have the review video out on that very shortly. Speaking of bundles, themed bundle called the Old Foes. GW announced on Tuesday that there'd be this like weekly bundle thing that you could pick up for them. It would only be up for a week, and there'd be a bunch of different ones, but we broke down the numbers on it. And of course it's, only available from them. It's basically a combat patrol with 2 extra squads in it that there's really no savings. There's 0 savings because you could have, while you do get a value in the combat patrol, you could have just bought the combat patrol by itself and not had to buy the other 2 units. So I feel like, it's cool that they're doing something themey, but they weren't kind of upfront about it. Like, it's not anything new. It's something that you could just get anytime you want. So I don't know what the next iteration of them is going to be, but I guess it'll be announced next Tuesday. So we'll keep our eyes open for that and kind of break that down just in case, because it's really hard to say what they'll do for the next one. Hardcore Minis put out some new demon models, which look a lot like something you might see in the video game Doom, which I thought was pretty neat. So bringing them to the Grimdark feature, which I guess is very similar in the Doom video game. So if you want to get those on the table, they have a pre-order going right now. I think it ends soon. I forget the exact date, but it was a significant chunk of savings to pre-order those over there. Puppets War launched their Patreon, so you can get STL files from Puppets War.
Oh, good old Puppets War.
Yeah, they finally got on there. They kicked it off.
I'm actually pretty stoked that they're finally doing some at-home STLs, and their stuff is real spicy. It's real cool.
This month is Samurai Orcs, basically.
Yep, and the War Boss is insane. It's so cool.
Yep, they are super dope. So check those out. I imagine it's just patreon.com/Puppets War, but I don't know the exact URL right off the bat. You could Google our article on it if you
can't find it. They have a welcome pack just for signing up too.
Yeah, like, and there's some Marine-ish stuff in there that looks very similar to some of the stuff you'd see on their site, bits wise. What else have we got? Oh, there's going to be a big Army Painter reveal tomorrow for a new product that might help you paint a little faster. Maybe a product that was a little bit more what it was supposed to be when it came out from another company.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think we can say it, but I'm not going to say it quite yet.
I don't think I've signed anything.
I definitely did. So
yeah,
I probably got one of those emails, and I've learned better than to just blindly sign NDAs.
Yeah,
but I think I can infer exactly what this email is.
I mean, if you're going to paint something fast, like with one coat, what would you want?
Man, we are really skirting that NDA right now. Yeah.
When does the NDA lift?
The big reveals tomorrow.
So is that the expiration date of the NDA?
Yes.
Is it defined time zones?
It's not in the NDA about time zones. Anyways, so big reveal tomorrow. You can already tell what it is. It's on their YouTube channel right now.
Whose YouTube channel?
Army Painters.
Army Painter Methamphetamines.
There it is. If you're a buyer or seller, USPS just put out they've been having a lot of problems. So they locked down New Zealand. So they're not bringing mail into New Zealand right now, unfortunately. Then they also announced that they're raising prices before the holidays. Those all already went into effect October 1st. They're slowing down first class mail. So I guess a lot of first class mail was transported in planes. Now they're trying to do it more in trucks. So a lot of stuff for first class mail that would take 3 days is now going to take 5. Not sure how that's all going to stack out with the holidays as the mail volume increases, but there may be noticeable. I don't want to say significant, but there might be noticeable delays getting stuff, whatever you need, or if you're shipping stuff on eBay to somebody. So just kind of keep that all in mind that it might get a little hectic going into the holiday season. So try to stay a little bit ahead if you can with that stuff there, because it's going to be, I don't know what to make of it, because it always seems like in the middle of December, the Postal Service just kind of goes into the quantum leap accelerator and vanishes anyways, and then reappears like a week later. So I don't know what's going to happen. But hopefully it's not too bad here in the States, at least. I think that was the majority of the stuff that I wanted to touch on new product wise this week. Hopefully we'll have an update on those new GW bundles next week for sure. And I did want to talk briefly, and I think we have some lists here that we can speak on too, that now that 2 of the GW events are behind us, Orlando and New Orleans over this last weekend, I've talked to a lot of people that went to them, and checked out a lot of the coverage online, and just to kind of see, how the tables look, the spacing. And from everybody I've talked to and everything I've heard, it seems like they've been run very well. Everything was super smooth, no real issues whatsoever. So, kudos to GW coming out the gate, getting back involved in the tournament circuit scene here in the States, where they really hadn't had a presence in about 11 years or so. And really, doing good stuff. I guess we got 2 more events. There's one more and then a championship. I think there's one in Austin, right, Wyatt? And then
on the roadshow.
Yeah.
And then I think they have another one on the West Coast.
Okay. There's like a championship or something somewhere. Not exactly sure.
Yeah, I know we're preparing for the Austin one. We're looking forward to sending a couple people there.
Nice. Yeah, that's I'm sure that'll probably be one of the bigger ones if I had to guess. And the event, the venue itself, that it was at a Hyatt, looked incredible. From all the pictures I saw too, just the exterior and the convention space itself.
It's the downtown one. That one's actually really nice.
Yeah. So I was, kudos to GW for all that. Now we've got the Army list. We did a post on the site today, actually, with the freshest Army list from the event, because there was some really interesting lists that finished kind of middle of the first cut, top 16, that at the site, I don't want to keep talking about Admech and Harlequins and Eldar. I mean, Sean Naden, super good, but it's like how many times we talk about his Eldar Dukari or whatever.
I know we have like trauma response for the last 25 years of Eldar. But
well, it's not even
this
that.
Is Dukari though.
It's some of the. It's just like we talked about. It's the night. It's the Night Castellan. It's the Ghost of the Night Castellan, where it was just stagnant for so long that.
Yeah, no. You make a perfect point. I'm teasing you. It's like, cool, got it. Admech, cool, got it. Drakari, see it. Okay, that makes sense why these are the top 6, 7, 8. You know what I mean? Like, I see
let's
that.
look at some cool shit.
But only one guy can win the event. Every top player in the United States, average loss, 1. Right? Because if there's only 50 events, only 50 people get to win. So you lose 1. So it doesn't really matter who won when like all these 8 people were capable of winning. It really sometimes matters looking like what else is capable of winning. What's in striking distance, based on maybe different matchups, different mission, or going first or second, who could have got there, right? And so that's your article and your observation, I think, is important, right? 9th, 8th, and 10th in that event are Marines.
ish. Yeah. Well, no, ninth, 8th, and 7th.
9th, 8th, 9th, and 7th, even better.
Power
right?
Armor,
Salamanders, Space Wolves,
Thousand Suns.
Thousand Suns. Marine people. One of them's bad guy Marines.
Bad guy Marines. And the cool thing about it was, from my perspective, I like looking at lists. I like writing. I literally print them out, guys. I literally print them out and I look through them because I hate, I can only look at the computer so much a day. And then I go through and I physically look at them like I'm reading a newspaper, like I'm an old dad. And I'm like, cool, what's this list all about? And I start breaking it down and I write little notes and I'm like, oh, okay.
He printed that off just so he could flash the screen because I called him out on having fake papers.
No, this is what I do. Can only look at the computer screen so much a day, man. But I looked at all these lists and I was, Thousand Suns really aren't my bag, but I kind of like what they're doing there. And I was like, man, I could really get behind all these lists because they're all semi-combined arms lists, right? Where you don't necessarily spam the same units over and over. It's not like everybody took, 6 squads of eradicators, and then 9th edition started. It's like everything has a specific purpose, like we were talking about earlier with scoring, and Wyatt was talking in the after hours. It's more about getting the reps in because you can build lists to hold objectives and do things and be resilient. And everything has kind of a purpose, whether it's
it's like you want a good mix of units that are your like offensive tools. And then you want a mix of units that are actions. Like that's why they're there. They hold and they do actions because so many of the secondaries and some of the mission secondaries all revolve around the unit stopping what they're doing to do an action. And like, yes, some factions have stratagems where a unit can do an action and still act normally that turn, but that's spending resources. Not everybody can do that. So you're seeing a lot of that. Like Sisters is really good at that, where basically the conceit of those lists is like the best defense is not being interacted with and trading units efficiently for victory points. Because, it's like if I score more than you over 6 turns, but all of my units die, I still win because I have more points than you. So it's like you're seeing a rise in those types of lists, which is solid. And then when you look at these Space Marine lists, it's like, what's the number one thing that like every Space Marine player placing high is spamming in their army? So Vanguard veterans with lightning claws and storm shields, because they're fast, they can do actions. Sometimes they can be OBSEC, and they have a 4-up invul save +1 to armor save. So they're incredibly hard to just kill normally. They have a real hard to dig teleport out strike for free. Yep. Super good. And then adversely to that, that's what everybody's doing. So what's the answer to the meta with that? It's mortal wounds. So of course you see the rise of basically every winning Space Marine army bringing 2 to 3 Volkite Contemptor Dreadnoughts, because it's like, here's a boatload of 2 damage that also deals mortal wounds that don't care about your invul saves. It's like, it's the same reason I'm playing Decimators. Like,
what I liked, and I mean, we can talk about these as much or as little as we want, but like, the Salamanders list was fluffy, had the Dreadnought, the named Dreadnought character, because
also he's just really fucking good. Yeah. And then he can also be bodyguard blocked. So I like David's a Texas guy. I know him. He's been doing that for a while. Like you bodyguard make Brayarth where he can't be interacted with, even with sniper weapons, stuff like that. And he's real good.
I mean, he's got a 5-up feel of pain, 5-up invul, reduces damage. So like, he's no slouch for sure. So I thought that was dope. I think he had one of the squads. Yeah. One of the Lightning Claw Storm Shield squads for sure. Some of the Relic Contemptor Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, so David uses company veterans because company veterans have bodyguard. And so what you do is you make the company veterans where nobody can see them, so they can't be interacted with, and they are bodyguarding Brayarth. So even if you can just butt in the wind, see Brayarth from a mile away, you can't interact with him because he's being bodyguarded by these company veterans.
Yeah, it's basically, remember, so he's a character he's a character with less than 10 wounds. And the bodyguard rule, basically, they just have to they break some of the rules, but they just have to be near him. So it's a trick. People using it with like Celestine and stuff like that. And you got to be at the high level like your boy is to operate that list to that success. Now, I mean, these lists, I looked at them. They're pretty cool. There's cool elements to them. But like one of the questions I wanted to ask, since we had Red here is like, do you think, because you don't typically see like that list and do top 10 at a 200-man event. Do you think it's a case of like, our boy just leveled up, or do you think it has anything to do with the format that they were playing in?
I think to that, the format definitely plays into it. I think that there's something to do with the terrain, especially when you look at both events. And I do like how they went about it. I mean, essentially, it looks like it's right out of the rule book, essentially, with the clear base that they have. But it creates those large footprints that allows for infantry units in a lot of these cases to be able to, if they can get across and they can maneuver and they can push through the terrain, something like the Space Marine list with these maneuverable infantry really can take a lot of advantage of that. And so I do think that that's part of the equation. I think the other part is that really you do have some skilled players that are definitely taking these lists and piloting them to greater extents, just like we've seen to a certain extent with some of the Black Templar lists as well. I mean, as we lead up to the Black Templar release, people have been taking Black Templars and really running them to some greater degrees of efficiency. But the format plays into it and the pilots. So I know I just answered your question by saying both, but that I think that's really the sum of it in these cases here.
Oh yeah, respecting the talent of the player involved. And also, when I look at a format, I plan for a format.
That's right.
It's not an accident. It's not an accident that like, oh, I accidentally brought the right units for this format. Look at me. No. I saw that.
No, playing to the format is a huge, huge aspect of competitive 40K. I mean, it's the exact same thing as like, if you play football and you're going on an away game and they use AstroTurf, like you're going to bring your AstroTurf cleats. Right. And if they're playing on grass, like you're going to bring a different set of cleats that's better for playing on grass. Like that's just part of the game.
Right. Or, I mean, just mission analysis when you're sitting here looking at it. The format's really, I mean, it's part of the terrain almost in its own way, right? Like it's part of the setup of what you're going into. You got to understand the environment that you're going into. And when you understand the rules under which it goes, okay, well, they play with, as we know, magic boxes or not magic boxes or whatever. Like being able to understand how to do that and play into that, you absolutely, if you're not considering those things, I highly recommend folks take that.
It could be the thing that's holding you back from going 3-0 at your next World Championship.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely 100% agree.
Yep, that's a good analysis of that situation. Now, real quick before we jump into the next segment, what was the Space Wolf Army like? I'm curious about that.
Oh, it was like three Bobs of Wolf Guard, a random like 5-man Wolfen squad.
Wolfen are still super. I think Wolfen are very useful. There's just like the way that this guy has them kitted out with the Frost Claws and Wolf Claws. They're very cheap. Yeah. They're a fast moving unit. You can outflank them. Like Wolfen are just a solid unit.
Are they actionable?
That I don't remember. I know that there is a thing that Wolfen do where they always have to like move to like fight, like they're berserkers or something.
Or they either have headstrong or berserker.
Yeah, they have some rule like that. But like, as a 135 point fast moving infantry unit that still tears it up in close combat. Yeah.
And it outflanks for free.
I don't remember that aspect, but you can. Right?
But you can. I mean, everything can outflank for.
Yeah. Oh, you like this? He's got 2 cyber wolves. Just
squad.
2 units of 1 cyber wolf.
Does he have any dreadnoughts? Does he have those dreadnoughts?
I think it's 1 squad is 2 because the minimum's 2.
Any of those Contemptors?
No, it's like so. Fenrisian wolves, yes. Cyber wolves.
Oh, okay.
Cyber wolves can be free agents.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, I don't think he does. He doesn't have any of those dreadnoughts.
Mm-hmm. He did do the thing with I thought this was really tactical where he put he took a Long Fang squad of 3 Gravs, 1 multi-melta, and then a squad of 3 multi-meltas, 1 grad, and he took 1 pod.
Put them all
so
in
he
it?
can kind of sideboard depending on what he wants to come in on blap.
Oh.
I think.
Well, I think
I
he
mean,
puts
that's
them all
still
in it.
like
They're 5-man
drop pod
squads, right?
strats.
Oh yeah, I guess you could.
Yeah, like drop pod strats are still like super, super good for Space Marines because it's this thing where you can just put it down turn 1 and just like delete a threat off of the board. And it's such an OG tactic that so many people are still like, you might get some people with it. Like our friend Greg, who's been on the podcast, like he's still consistently running the drop pod with a bunch of devastators in it for his iron or Imperial Fists. And it still does what it does. Like it's just this thing, like turn 1, bop, it comes down, like you can block a lane.
It lets you deploy them safely and in the pocket every game.
Yeah. They both had the cherubs. And I think he took the hounds of Mordecai. So he's got the infiltrating Primaris duders just chilling. He's got some jump pack dudes. So he's got all the elements.
Oh, he's got a
this,
highly actionable army that can really distract you with some DPS. I mean, the 2 solo free agent wolves are very flexible for lots of different roles.
Just locking stuff down if they need to, or
also he plays
I
the
just
highest.
tagged you. Oh,
You play 7th?
Yeah, he plays 7th.
Yeah, he was the highest placing.
That's a cool list, and I like. And when I see a Space Wolf guy, right, I'm always like, respect, because there's a particular brand to that book,
Yeah, all of these lists.
And I'm sure 1K Suns was mortal wound spamming like with some contender dreadnoughts.
Yeah,
he took the new. I think there was a Forge Fiend in there.
Mm-hmm. He also has a Sakaran Venator.
Does the Forge Fiend in their book? Does he hits on 3s now, right?
Yeah,
Forge Fiend hitting on 3s is a great fucking unit.
Yep.
I think one of the contemptors was Plasma loadout too, with
the Plasma obliterate or Plasma
with a missile launcher.
Yeah. He was running
and he took a Hellbrute.
Yeah, Joni's one of the heavy hitters.
Hellbrute's got some interesting tech, bro. You can outflank him you can strategic reserve him for 1 CP. Like there's some.
He's got that unit of 2 Chaos Spawn.
Oh God, I have one of those now too. I mean, I've been a massive supporter of the solo spawn, or same concept is like it's just a versatile unit. Can camp a backfield, authorize another units to move free. It can give you that much needed last 50 millimeter base, kind of to squish into the back to stop to zone out a deep strike because of a deployment map is deeper, So those are high level choices. And from all three armies are exhibiting, all 3 generals are exhibiting very carefully crafted, combos into their lists. It's good to see. They came to fight and they fought well.
For sure, it's nice to see something.
And you got a breakdown of that on the Spiky Bits.
Yeah, there's a army breakdown, semi breakdown, more just talking about the list in general. More general over on the site.
What site?
It's Spiky Bits.
SpikyBits.com/boner pills. We rule.
Yeah.
For life.
100%.
You can see our dicks from outer space.
.com. No, I think that's not exactly on brand.
After those boner pills.
I mean, if you order enough.
Hey, I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow's selling them now, so. I mean, I was kind of a trailblazer if you think about it. I was out there.
Gwyneth Paltrow is selling boner pills? Did I hear that?
Well, for ladies, basically, the lady equivalent.
I'm gonna have to Google this. Thank you. I was reading chat and I was like, "Did I hear this correct?"
I'm glad I gave you something to do when you're pooping.
I'm gonna write this down. All right, let's kick it over to Wyatt and Red. Let's talk about Army Esports. What's up, guys?
Yeah, so Red, you guys were at Las Vegas Teams. We kind of kicking it out there. Talked to one of your guys, Ivan. Also talked to one of your PR guys, David. Super cool. So, like, first off, how did the teams do at Las Vegas Teams?
So we had a great time. And with that, we both teams went 3-3. We actually faced each other in round 5, which was awesome.
Ooh, grudge
So
match.
it was pretty awesome. We had a great time with that. We did try to set our teams up a little bit going into it with we looked at something of a more competitive team and then a team that we were there to have a good time and enjoy ourselves. And they ended up doing pretty close, similar performance. But, as we all understand, when you're doing like a team format, the logistics of trying to get folks there becomes its own thing. And so what was really cool is that we almost thought we were going to be able to make a third team, but then we had some folks as we were planning this unable
then
to
you
make
barely
it.
had enough to get your 2 teams there.
Yeah. You had to bring in the AAA team.
Oh man! So we had some people that really were able to volunteer their time to come on and help the team, which is amazing. And not everybody was necessarily, we're not all active duty. And so we had some folks who had been in the Army and were no longer in the Army. We had some folks who were in the Navy, so not even in the Army from there to begin with. So it was just really awesome. We had a great time.
Expand upon that.
Well, and so, I don't think that it's, it doesn't help to be so inclusive that we're excluding other people. I don't think that really helps. I think in trying to play into the community piece, anybody who's ultimately interested, in my opinion, deserves a spot in the community. It's just a matter of participating and engaging with one another. And so when it comes to the Army team, I'm really trying to expand the community aspect and have as whoever wants to partake and be part of it and join in and engage and play, by all means, like they're welcome to. We're starting to bring in a lot of people into our Discord that we have, where we can all engage and just again, there's so much that we come out of for those of us that are active duty or have been active duty or in the reserves, the National Guard, or just even been family members or friends of people in the military, that we engage with one another, and to be able to maintain and persist that community through our hobby is such an amazing opportunity that I'm not going to be the person that turns people down from that. And so I'm really trying to capitalize and open that up and really take advantage of what we can contribute to for one another. So that was awesome because we really got to play that out at the Las Vegas team tournament. It worked out kind of cool. We had my team, which is funny because, of course, me being red, I was the team captain of the Army team white. We were going to have red, white, and blue. And so we just ended up having red team and white team. White team had we had 3. We were actually more of a skewed team rather than just having a skewed list for the approach. So we ended up having one person. Tim had a chaos list with 3 Lord of Skulls.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Roger had a list of, he was using the knights, the new Megara knights. He even had them like with the horse pieces built into
I talked to him a little bit. He called me over to take a look at it.
Yeah,
they're like centaurs.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's tight.
Brilliantly constructed, because he did a prototype build where all the legs and shit are made from knight parts that you would get in a kit. And then once he figured out how to make it work, he 3D printed all those billions of little pieces that you would have to buy like 17 knights to get, And then, but so they are even constructed of those actual parts though. Like it's kind of genius. And they're like literally giant centaurs.
Yeah, it was tight. So, and then we had James with the Harridan list, Tyranids. He had 2 Diamond Karens and a Harridan. It was pretty awesome.
I commented on that too. When I was over at the table, I was like, oh shit, look at this skewed ass.
Monster Mash.
Yeah. Cool. So it was pretty fun. So, all in all, it was really great, especially, with post COVID, and we're not really through it, but post the total lockdown that we'd been in previously. Yeah. This was one of our bigger events that we're able to show up to in the numbers, and to be able to, you met Wyatt, you mentioned you met David, aka Nacho, who's an amazing public affairs rep for the esports team, and he took some awesome photos and images of the team.
Yeah, he took a really good one of me wearing the Air Force shirt.
He did. It was awesome. It was good. Someone
I
had to represent for him.
I did. Well, so our friend Mike Haspel, he was an Air Force officer. He was a steely-eyed missile man, and our friend Demecki, who's another teammate, he was an Air Force guy. So I was like, I'll wear this because we have some other friends here that would come to Texas events and stuff like that in their Air Force. And so they gave me that shirt, and I was like, I'll wear it to, rep you guys.
No, I think it's great. Again, that's one of the things when it comes down to it. The Air Force gaming team is awesome. I love those guys. I love working with Doug and the team. And it was really cool meeting some of the folks even at the team tournament that had been in the Air Force team beforehand. But so something that we have to our advantage with the Army team is that there's so many of us. We're spread out across the board that anybody can engage in really any of the events. We had people at New Orleans. We had people at Orlando. People can be anywhere. It's just a matter of where it is. And Air Force Gaming still, they're doing great. They just got to keep building their community so they've got the representation across the board. I know.
Yeah, I'd like to comment to that change that statement you made earlier about you were like, we got Navy guys, or we got. So first, I thought about that for a second. I was like, it's kind of like take the Army out of the name. It's
sure
esports community team, basically, that the Army is spearheading. And it's about inclusivity in all ways. And you even were like, we don't want to be like exclusionary in our inclusion, of only Army people. Where like you're guiding it with your directives and your philosophies toward positive community interactions and positive elements of cooperative competition.
Absolutely.
But it seems like there might be like an application process, a way for people to want to get involved, who want to be in line with that type of spirited, positive outlook on things.
Yeah. So we've got, and it's not to, it's not to make it by any means too bureaucratic. And I know that some people might jokingly say that that's a penchant of the Army itself to do something along those lines. But when we're managing large groups of people, as we tend to do, you want to orient it, make sure that everybody's on board with the same, because we do for the esports team, we want to live and demonstrate the Army values, and be professional and respectful, treat everybody with respect and dignity. And so that's that's the baseline, right? That's all we can really expect. And that if you violate that,
it's what you require.
Right.
Exactly. It's the core philosophy of this group. This group is inclusive with this requirement: respect and dignity at all times.
Yeah. And so it doesn't seem like that's a high standard for folks to have to,
like you said, it's
meet,
base.
Right.
Baseline.
And so, yeah. So with that, after that, really just bringing folks on, there is some other aspects with the Army aspect to it, that the Army has some more official capacities within it, but we don't want that to limit the community aspect. And so really, I'm just anybody that wants to come on and join the Discord and volunteer to go to events. We're glad to, and especially so what you saw, we had kind of a amalgamation between the 2019 and 2020 jerseys at Las Vegas team tournament. And we're moving to because of COVID, we kept the 2020 jersey all through 2021. We're about to move to the new 2022 jersey. There used to be like a fan jersey and a team jersey, and we're no longer doing that. There's just a team jersey. And everyone's going to be able to get.
So can anyone just buy this jersey to support the team financially and also just rep the team like a sports team you would rep? Even though I'm not on the Miami Dolphins, I fucking have a Dolphins jersey.
Yeah, it's just to rep the team. That's right.
Yeah, I love that. That's so good.
And so there's basically a way to support the team and its goals and everything. And you said there was a Discord. What's the easiest way for someone to, what would someone have to Google to find their way to a Discord link?
So Facebook is our Black and Gold Wargaming community. And then I'll get the link for our Discord. It should just be US Army Esports 40K. There's the 40K one, and then there's the super official US Army Esports one. And that has all of the games for the US Army Esports team, which we support something like 22 different games that go with that. So I'm just one of the many team captain, team managers of different teams for all these different events. But for the 40K one, I'll make sure I get that link to you guys so you can.
Yeah, we'll put it on the world. You said Black and Gold is on
Facebook.
On
yeah,
Facebook,
Black and Gold Wargaming. Yeah.
I'd imagine a lot of people hearing this podcast would be more than happy to support it.
Yeah, let me know too, because shoot me a message on Facebook, because I can do like a kind of news type post, like, hey, support the team, go get your jersey here.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You could do one of those, like when you send 4 emails a day to people one too.
Why stop with 4? Dare to dream bigger.
Right.
One of the things you and I talked about a while ago read was sort of this idea that like when you go to like a Warhammer event, like it almost seems like 1-2 out of every 5 people at that event are either active or vets of some type.
Probably.
And so like when this esports thing like rolled out in the Warhammer side of things, like it was really cool to see. And then like, I'm so glad that now it's shifting to like, you know, if you're active, you can join. If you are reserve or if you're a vet, you can join. Even if you weren't in the Army, like you can join and just like, you know, be part of the team, because I think that's just a cool idea that a lot of people like the idea of like being part of something, like part of that team, part of that community. Whereas normally they'd just be like kind of all by their onesies, like at an event, like not able to really rep anything.
Being a part of a crew, rolling deep with your squad. We all want, that's what we all want to do, man. It's like the only thing that holds people back half the time from going to bigger events, right? That's kind of like, I think I was mentioning it earlier. And what's funny, because I'm laying in like this conversation in that way thinking, but like with this GW Roadshow, which, you know, I didn't really have high hopes for, but now I'm seeing how well it's doing, and like also the different type of people it's attracting and drawing. Or maybe there's this, in my opinion, this like vital stepping stone between like, or several stepping stones between like, I am the biggest dick bandit on Friday night at my game store. Then there's that same game store has 1,500 point tournaments once a month, that when I went there was 10 guys who've been coming to these tournaments for 20 years I've never seen before. And I got my ass kicked and now I hate tournaments. Or some people have the inverse reaction. But then there's like graduating from that environment, like battling your way into that and then going to these bigger events that you have to travel to. You don't know anybody. That's a major hurdle in going. It's like, because if you can't get like, hey, yo, Wyatt, there's this tournament in San Antonio, man. You want to go? And he's like, I can't go. I'm kind of not going now too. If that's where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
I have my squad to roll deep. But like these types of clubs, these types of groups, and then I also want to see some certain events attracting other people. Kind of have this like this overlay, this wombo combo, right? Yeah. Of really encouraging people to in my opinion, the highest level of this hobby is the convention lifestyle. Like going to these places, seeing the armies, like
especially the team tournaments.
But Vegas is a great example. We're sitting there between rounds. There's literally 300 people in that room.
Yep.
Roughly 280. We're sitting there and it's just lines of tables, right? Perfectly. And everyone's just waiting for the round to see every army as far as I can see. And I'm like, see, this is like that person who hasn't gone here yet, doesn't understand yet, because you can't explain this to them. They have to see it. They have to see that this is where the hobby is alive the most.
Absolutely.
I could see 280 fully painted armies that you would probably think, like, if I was to be like, oh, those two and that guy, those two are battle ready. But like, but their standard of battle ready in most current modern tournaments, when you take it to the Friday night crew and they're like, oh my fucking God, dude, how many minutes did you spend painting that shit? You know? Yeah. It's like this guy, I played a guy who had Dark Angels. I was like, these look great and clean. He's like, yo, I totally didn't paint them in 2 weeks. I was like, dope. Your motivation to get it done at a high level and utilizing your techniques, man, this shit actually looks really good, man. Like you see that.
That's probably the biggest reason that I enjoy tournaments so much. It keeps me motivated to paint stuff, right? It's like, it's got to be done. It's got to be done now. Like there's no like
creating easy access to that feeling and that environment should be the highest level motivation, the highest agenda. And that seems to be like kind of what you guys are doing.
I tell you what, so if you look at this example. So Team White, I'm the team captain. The other people, Garrett Giles, Roger Coleman, James Kempner, and Tim Hubscher. So I had never met, out of those 5, the 5 of us being there, I had never met the other 4 before in my life. Like we showed up, one team.
But of course, you communicated on the Discord and the Facebooks. Right. You guys linked up, did all your tactics and all your jammed up because you had access to that your squad to roll deep with.
That's right. And talking about motivation, so Friday morning, the Army nice enough to give me the leave to be able to get out there to the event. That Friday morning, my flight that I had got canceled. Maintenance issues. Told me they weren't going to be able to get me there till Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Fortunately, I'm in El Paso, Texas. So I was able to just be like, hey, look, I got to get there. Got to get there for the team. Again, these people I'd never met physically in my life. And I'm not kidding.
You
I
rent a
drove
car and just
11 hours.
drive? What'd you do?
I drove 11
Oh
hours.
my
Oh,
fucking
man.
God.
That Friday morning, I was at Austin Airport and I roll in, and the first thing I see is a line to get through security that was almost out the door of the terminal. And I was like, oh no, I have severely screwed up, because I was like an hour early, right? And I come to find out later it was because like APD was doing some kind of like walkthrough of the airport with a bunch of old like World War II veterans. So like 2 thumbs up on that, but also like the annoyance of like, why the airport, guys? Like,
Right.
shouldn't you have done this at like the Capitol building or something? Like
Something a little bit more prestigious.
yeah, and so like, because I go up to one of the staff, because they're having to like direct people, like, you know, air traffic controllers, to be like, go to this is the end of the line, like go this way. And I was like, hey, like, is there like, you know, is there like the wheelchair line that I can go to? And they were like, no, back of the line. And I was like, okay.
That sucks, because you never used that, and you were about to use it for like the first time.
I 100% was. And so I was like, if I have to wait in this line, I'm not going to make my flight. And I was thinking about that, because I was texting Mike Haskell, and there was a moment where I was like going to the end of this line where I was like, if I miss this flight, I am going to go back out to the parking lot, get in my car, and drive to Vegas. Like I'm not missing this tournament.
Yep. So that exactly that level of motivation, the ability to get there and meet these people that we were working together to common goal and everything. Really, I mean, just it's hard to describe how that isn't just all for the community and what we put forward to it. So I'm really excited to continue to do this. I've been with the team now for 3 years, even through the dark times of COVID, and I'm looking forward to where we continue to grow to. And so I really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to talk about it and share it.
No doubt. Check him out on Facebook, guys. Look for the new post coming from Spiky Boots about it. He'll be throwing up some face beezies. We'll get that Discord link out to the community. And then I'm certain they're going to be releasing their 2021 jerseys soon, and you can support the squad in all sorts of different ways. And hey, if you're looking to roll deep with the squad,
I'm gonna be playing with you guys next season on Reserve Team 2.
That's
I'm
right.
looking forward to that.
Yeah.
oh shit.
Yep. Yeah. We're continuing to expand, bring in folks. We've got the reserve teams. Just as long as we got people, it's just like talking about the Las Vegas team tournament. We're just going to keep expanding the reserve teams.
So people listening, when you want that number on your jersey, make sure it says Reserve Team 2, because it's going to be the best team.
Mm-hmm. Wyatt, congratulations. You're leaving us. You're like our best player.
I'll still rep the Long War at certain.
But like when you're going to go to one of these events, you got to rep Reserve Team 2. So it's going to be just me and Haspel out there.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Jeff G already put his application in to be on my squad. So
he's real good.
He might be our new best player.
Ooh.
And he plays AdMech. So like as much as I was just harping on AdMech 5 minutes ago, I'm like, yo, let me get some fucking AdMech on this team.
Just run a couple planes. Yeah.
I'm gonna play more Custodies when the book comes out.
Yeah, but like you don't fly places.
I don't what?
Fly places?
Why are you flash shaming me, bro?
Because you just offered up you just like offered up like how dope your new Custodians is going to be, like as if you could be on my team, but you know you can't be on my team because you won't fly anywhere.
So Rob has expressed he doesn't trust the pilot. So Rob, what if we like worked with the Air Force team to just like get you in like an F-18 to just like fly you to events and stuff? Would you trust that guy?
That's the Navy, but that would also work.
You know, whatever. It's an airplane. I don't know airplanes. I was in the Army. Dude.
He's just an Army engineer.
It's like it's a plane. It's all the same. It's in the sky.
Yeah. They have propellers and shit.
I could probably do that.
If we can get you an F-18, would you do it?
Probably, yeah.
All right. All our F-18 people out there who can pull some strings, get something fucking done.
We know some F-18 people, actually.
Yeah, we actually do.
Yeah, but what if you play an event out here? There's about to be a whole bunch of events in 2022.
5-man team tournaments out there?
I'm sure there's going to be some team tournaments out here. Because isn't there FLGs doing the
New
thing
Orleans.
in Atlantic City?
Oh, yeah. Atlantic City next year. And then New Orleans.
I can drive to that.
Is Atlantic City a team tournament?
No.
Well, they'll be having different things. Don't they want to do doubles or something? When didn't they do a doubles last year? I don't remember.
Well, he's trying. Long War doubles.
ATCs.
ATC. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, but you drive to that one.
It still counts. How am I supposed to get places if I can't drive?
Not you were allowed to drive. What you were doing is throttling your access to events by not flying, unless it's an F-18.
It's not it's throttling my access to events on the West Coast because I'll drive to Austin.
Somebody's like, he'll get you on a submarine. So you go coast to coast.
Oh, my boy Sneezy, my boy Wheezy says
like drive to Norfolk and then you go around. You can get to see Panama.
I know all about Norfolk.
Yeah, dude. Just get on that submarine.
Which one? What class? What class we talking?
I don't think he's allowed to tell us.
He can.
He's just gonna BA Baracus you and just tell you and then knock you out and then you're gonna end
there's a class that currently only has 3 submarines that I would love to get on, but I could never get on one of those.
He said 6AAI.
I'll look at it.
He's got to make sure it's not airplane like in any way before he gets on it. There you go. All right, Rob, take us out of here.
So that's going to be it for this one. We mentioned I guess I don't need to do the preamble, but we mentioned in the pregame that the longwar.net now points to our Patreon page. So you can still go to longwar.net for exclusive content and early access videos and help support us. Because as soon as we hit 100 supporters, we can start rolling out our new t-shirt promo. Ooh. So longwar.net.